What's up, Maniacs? Got a really special treat for you today. I'm Ryan. What's up, Ashley? So we have the car here today that we featured on Maniac React not too long ago. This super bad Z. Dude, what is this thing?
It's a super bad Z. It's a 2003 Nissan 350Z.
This car has a very storied history. You built it originally as a drift car?
Yeah, it started off as a drift car, but it's always been about having a good time. It's had a 20-foot Spider on it. It's had 33s on it. It's had dualies on it. It has a tow ball on the back that everybody thinks is just for looks, but no, we actually have a gooseneck trailer that we pull with it. So
nice.
It's practical, it's fun, it's impractical, it's more fun.
You originally built it as a drift, and then you had a little incident.
The car's always had the rear EXO. That was part of the plan from the get-go. We actually bought the car from an auction for $800. It was wrecked in the rear, so bad that the rear subframe and the rear knuckle was broke. Cut it off and caged it, and at that point we put it on air and then just started drifting, and drifted for about 2 years. And then last summer I was driving it, and it got a little squirrely and ended up upside down. So obviously a car like this, it's in the family. You're never going to get rid of it.
No.
There's literally a video clip of me standing out there while the car is upside down, and I'm whispering to a friend of mine, you know, I think now is the time to do the dual engines. So that was 14 months ago.
What was the original motor?
It was a DE, VQ 35DE, twin turbo.
Which it now has 2 engines.
It's still twin turbo. We just we put one in the back.
What are these engines?
These are Honda K-24 engines. We did a few upgrades to them. They're stock bottom end, but they do have the RSX Type S K20 oil pump, the CVT cam gear on them. But other than that, they're pretty much stock. We're running E85, and the tuner's got them around 550 to 600 horsepower each.
Awesome. That's a lot of power in this car, dude. So what are you doing for like a transaxle in the front end then to feed this front engine power out to these tires?
This is a front wheel drive platform. So it's the front engine, front transmission, 2 axles powers the front, the rear powers the rear, and there's nothing, the only thing connecting them in between is the shift linkage, the throttle cables, and the clutches.
Okay.
There's no other drivetrain connection. Now, I can run just the front, just the rear, or both.
That's awesome.
Preferably both.
How many axles have you snapped?
A few. We actually are waiting. We have some 1,000 horsepower rated axles.
Oh, wow.
And so once we have those, then we can start really turning the boost up.
That's awesome. So what are you using for suspension for like your A-arms and stuff?
The rear is all Z1 Motorsports. Front is all RSX suspension.
Okay. And that's kind of what I was getting at. What I was wondering is if you used any of the Honda suspension parts in the front to go along with the engine.
It's a combination of 2 Zs, like I was telling you with my parts car. It's got TSX parts, RSX parts. It's got BMW electric water pumps on it. It's got it's a little bit of, this is every car.
This is a modern rat rod.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I love it. What for you was the most challenging part of this build?
The hardest part is putting the decals on. Those bubbles, it's so it's actually ended up being really, really simple, but at the time it was complicated. Was the shifter. So it's like, how are you going to shift? Obviously, you put the shifter in for the front engine, but then how are you going to shift the rear engine? And then how are you going to make that happen so that you're shifting both at the same time? And there's other guys out there have tried different things, but my idea, I came across K-Tune. They make a billet RSX shifter. I saw the way the cables connected to the shifter. I emailed them, and this was before they were one of our sponsors. I was just ready to pay for parts. I emailed them and I said, hey guys, I need to get this piece and this piece from your shifter. And they emailed me back and they were like, Ashley, no one has ever asked us for those parts. We have them, we do have them, and we'll talk about that later, but why do you need just those parts?
Just those 2 parts.
We had a render done. We knew kind of the direction that we were going with the car. So I sent them the render. I said, well, this is what we're doing and this is what we need. And they said, well, not only will we give you that, we're going to give you everything we've got. So K-Tune is one of our best sponsors, super supportive. Sean, I asked him a question in the middle of the night and have an answer in 5 minutes.
That's great, dude. That is great. It's great to have a good supporting company behind you.
Without all of our spots, I'd still be building it. It just we wouldn't be at SEMA this year. It'd probably be SEMA 2025.
Yeah. You've also got some really cool looking fenders that have a lot of signatures on them. What can you tell us about those?
Our very first event where we were kind of, I guess, sort of unveiling the car, it wasn't even running at the time, but we had to go because we had committed. That was back in July, Week Fest, San Jose.
Okay.
Close to us. But the night before the show, the only thing that didn't look pretty was the rear fenders. And so I was still out there sanding them, and I was like, you know, it was getting later and later in the day, and I was starting to get a little stressed out, and I was like, you know what, this is not the point. It's like, this car has always been fun. I mean, there's obviously been stressful moments. Being upside down was a stressful moment. But I was getting stressed out over finishing these fenders for the show, and I was like, this is not the point. So I stopped, I black primered them, and I grabbed some white Sharpies, and I said, we're just going to sign them. And I didn't know if it would work or not, but within a few hours of the show starting, both fenders completely filled up with signatures, messages.
That's awesome, dude.
So I clear coated it, and they're on there for as long as the car is running.
Excellent, man. What's been the most rewarding part of this build for you?
Oh, the relationships.
Yeah.
Doing something like this, the opportunity to meet people and go places. I mean, I love the car and driving it's a blast, but all of that stuff will come and go. It's the connections that you create with the people around you.
Yeah.
That's by far the most rewarding, hands down. Like, that's what I'll take forever.
I like it. That's something that we've been getting with our 49 Ford as well. You know, you meet people and they like the car, they like you, they like what you do. It's just cool to make friends. Like we always tell you guys, get off your couch, get out in the shop, start wrenching on some stuff, take multiple cars, multiple parts, start putting them all together and make something cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate it. See you next time.
Hey guys, I'm John with Maniacs Garage. I'm here with Boxo, and I want to show you guys their new combo tool roll set. It comes with dead blow hammer, screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, pliers, pretty much the essentials. It also has socket sets, both metric and standard, and wrenches metric and standard. And it even has some extra space here if you want to put in some special tools of your own. You can check them out at boxousa.com. And if you enter Maniacs at checkout, you'll get an additional discount.